All right, you guys. So we're going to make a Batman movie tier list. Now, when I typed in live action Batman movies, this tier list came up, so don't at me. It was definitely a pre-made Batman tier list. And what's funny is the title of it says live action Batman movies, and the Lego Batman movie is on here. So we're going to leave it on there. Hey, it is what it is. Anyways, if you look at this diagram that we have here next to me, of course, probably from Batman 1989, let me put my hand right here, and below is going to be on this tier list. They didn't include, which kind of surprises me, the Batman 1966 movie, because everybody loves Adam West. Rest in peace, buddy. And then, of course, they got, the Batman 1943 and Batman 1949, which are black and white. They're kind of cheesy, more of like a detective style Batman. I've watched them before. They're a pain in the butt to actually get your hands on to be able to watch. But I recommend it if you're a Batman fan. They're enjoyable. So anyways, this tier list is going to start with the Batman 1989 right here and work its way down. It's going to start with the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton movie. So let's get into it, guys. So when it comes to Batman movies, people are always like, "Oh, Josh, you always, overcomplicate when people ask me what my favorite Batman movie is." When in fact, I really do not overcomplicate it because I break the live action movies, I got to make sure my hand's in there. I break the live action movies into two categories, and then of course, my favorite animated movie. And by breaking the live action into two different categories, it kind of it melts people's minds. Because I'm a huge comic book nerd. I love the comic books. Now, when it comes to the movies, I break them down into two categories only because you look at the Tim Burton movies and the earlier movies are much more animated. They're much more like leaning towards the comic book movies. Where if you lean into the Christian Bale versions of Batman, they're more of a realistic, grounded version of Batman. Right? Of course, they got some of their over-the-top action sequences, but that's any movies after, 1995. Thank you, Michael Bay. So anyways, we're going to get into this. We're starting with the first one, which is Batman 1989, which is Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. Michael Keaton is Batman, Jack Nicholson is the Joker. I really, really love this one. If you're talking like cartoony style. Jack Nicholson's a really good Joker, but I will stick this one in, it's high tier, it's B, right? Because as you guys probably know, I like to usually only put one thing in the S tier. So don't at me. I mean, you can at me, but your list is going to be wrong. Followed by Batman Returns. This is Michael Keaton again as Batman. You got Danny DeVito, love you, Danny, as the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. This one is great. Tim Burton Returns, and I love this one. I say it's top tier. Let me tell you, because I loved Michelle Pfeiffer in this movie as Catwoman. Amazing. So now we're moving into the category of Batman movies where the quality kind of slid just a little bit in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I remember I had an argument with my ex that these two movies were not that bad. And then she's like, let's watch Batman and Robin. So we watched Batman and Robin. And it was at the moment where Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, "Ice to meet you," is when I realized these movies were terrible. They were so bad. And it's the same with Batman Forever. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that Jim Carrey as the Riddler was the perfect casting for the Riddler. But I did not like Val Kilmer as Batman. Tommy Lee Jones was a pretty good Two-Face. But the part where he stands up in the crowd, Val Kilmer that is, as Batman, "I am Batman! I'm Batman!" It puts both of those in like low tier. And the other thing is I do remember Batman and Robin, this one right here, was probably one of the first movies I really remember going and seeing in theaters. I was excited for, but I was terrified because of Bane. Because you have Poison Ivy in that one and Bane in that one as well. And like I said, it scared me. Bane did. But they're low tier. Like, they did not age well. They are not good movies at all. And like, I just remember arguing, watched them, and I told my ex, you know, you're right. Those are terrible movies. The next movie is Batman Begins. Batman Begins is the start of probably, in my opinion, one of the greatest trilogies of movies ever. I would put the Dark Knight trilogy up there with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think Lord of the Rings is like next level when it comes to trilogy. But I think Batman Dark Knight trilogy is up there as well. I'd still say that it's up there. Anyways, the Batman Begins movie is top tier. It is such a great start to a trilogy. It flushes the story out on Bruce. It flushes it out. Now, the only thing I really did not like is like how they change actresses. Between Batman Begins and Dark Knight. And you guys already know. Dark Knight, the Heath Ledger performance as the Joker makes that movie. And on top of that, the portrayal of Two-Face, and then how he basically takes the fall for all the crime and then disappears, and it goes into Dark Knight Rises. It is amazing. But it pains me to say that Dark Knight Rises, like I said, when it comes to it, like, it's an upper tier trilogy. I did like how it ends, but I feel Dark Knight Rises is a mid-tier only because they definitely changed the story significantly after the passing of Heath Ledger. I think that Dark Knight Rises, if Heath Ledger would have made it out and been alive and been able to continue the dance between the Joker and Batman, that trilogy would have been a masterpiece. I mean, it is a masterpiece, but I still think it would have been way better if the dance would have been able to continue. That's what I like to call it. It's always a dance. Next one, Batman v Superman. So I'm going to just throw this out there. When it comes to Batman v Superman, I enjoy it. But you have to watch the extended cut. Like, the theatrical release of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was just mid. And even the theatrical cut, I'd say teeters between high tier and mid tier. Only because the extended cut is like 3 hours long. But it does flush out the story much better. So a lot of the stuff you're missing from the theatrical cut is explained in the extended cut. But Batman v Superman is just mid-tier. Mid-tier. Batman, the Lego Batman movie. So, like I said, this was supposed to be a live action one, and like they threw a curveball at me with Lego Batman and Joker. Lego Batman movie is actually a really, really fun movie. They got an all-star cast of individuals to voice all these people in the Lego Batman movie. And I'm gonna put it high tier. It is a very fun movie, whether you're a kid or an adult or a grown man child. It doesn't matter. It's a great movie. It's very fun. And there's a lot of really good jokes in it, even for adults. Joker. This Joker movie, it's really long. But the only complaint I've heard a lot of people say about it is the fact that it's really long. And the first half of the movie, which I enjoy this movie, and I can't wait for the second one. The second one's supposed to be out sometime this year. The only problem with the Joker movie that a lot of people have is that it's slow in the beginning. But it's meant to be slow because it has to flush out the story. And it has to make you, like think, okay, how is this, how is he impacted? Like, is he really the Joker? Because that's the question I have is he really the Joker, or is he the individual that inspires the Joker? Like, think about that one. That right there, and I've watched this movie like 3 or 4 times, always makes me think, is he actually the Joker, or is he the individual that inspires him? I have to say, especially I remember watching this in the theaters, and I went and I saw it with my buddy, and like they rolled credits. I just remember the theater was dead ass quiet, and we just kind of looked at each other like, "Oh my god, that movie was awesome." So the Joker movie, top tier, amazing. The Batman. The Batman came out in 2022. We're getting a sequel. I did like how this one was more of a detective movie instead of a superhero movie. And a lot of people didn't like that as well. And I had to listen to one of my buddies that was like, listen, I had to listen to 90s grunge music and people complaining and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but the Batman movie really, it's really enjoyable. It's really good. It's very well done. I have to admit, like, the villains in it are good. The Catwoman in it's really good. And I, for a while there, was thinking that they were just going to try to cram way too much into this movie, which they almost did. But the story was fleshed out very well. And like I said, they didn't have to tell the origin stories for a lot of these characters, which they didn't. But the Robert Pattinson grungy one is top tier, in my opinion. Only because I love a good detective movie. All right, you guys. So that right there I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it right now. That is my definitive live action, even though Lego Batman's in there, Batman movie tier list. Hopefully you guys like that. Comment down below, what was your opinion on some of these movies? Did I hit the nail on the head on a lot of them, or did I miss the mark? I'll leave that up to you, because this list is 100% correct. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later. Don't forget, mash that like button, subscribe. It helps out. It's free, man. Anyways, y'all take it easy. Bye.